The Spire of Silver Clouds. Long ago, in a house filled with sketches and dreams, a young boy named Adrian spent his afternoons looking up. While other children looked at the stones on the ground, Adrian watched the birds circle the tallest trees. He wondered what the world looked like from the very top of the sky, where the air was thin and the stars felt close enough to touch. Adrian grew up to be a visionary architect. He didn't want to build just another building. He wanted to build a masterpiece. One day, while walking through a garden, he stopped to admire a Hymenacalis flower. Its long, elegant petals radiated from a central point. "This," Adrian whispered, "is how we will reach the heavens." Adrian traveled to the golden sands of Dubai. There, he met with his lead engineer, Khalil. They stood on a vast, empty plot of land where the sun turned the dust into gold. They unrolled a giant blueprint that showed a tower taller than any ever made. "It must be strong enough to withstand the wind," Khalil noted, pointing to the base. Adrian nodded, his eyes fixed on the horizon. The construction began, and a forest of cranes rose from the sand. A young boy named Rami lived nearby. Every morning, Rami would run to the edge of the construction fence. He wore a bright yellow plastic hard hat that slipped over his eyes. He watched in awe as the giant machines moved like prehistoric creatures, lifting heavy beams into the blue sky. The tower grew higher every week, a shimmering needle of steel. Adrian climbed the high scaffolding to meet Uzair, a master of glass and mirrors. Together, they inspected a single reflective panel. "This glass will protect the people inside from the heat of the desert sun," Adrian explained. Uzair polished the surface until it shone like a diamond. Soon, the building was so tall it pierced the clouds. On the ground, Rami found a way to see the top. He brought a long telescope to the park and pointed it straight up. He gasped as he saw the sun reflecting off the silver tip. Even when the rest of the city was in shadow, it looked like a staircase made of light. The deadline for the grand opening approached. Adrian spent long nights in his office, surrounded by models made of balsa wood and silver wire. He looked at a clock on the wall, then back at his drawings. Every bolt and every beam had to be perfect. The world was waiting to see if his dream could truly stand against the clouds. On the night of January 4th, 2010, the city fell silent in anticipation. Rami stood in the center of a massive crowd with his father, Hamza. They stood near a wide pool of water at the base of the giant tower. "Look, Papa," Rami whispered, pointing at the dark silhouette that seemed to touch the moon. Hamza placed a hand on his son's shoulder, both of them waiting for the magic to begin. Suddenly, the sky erupted. Fireworks exploded from the sides of the Burj Khalifa, turning the night into a rainbow of fire. Adrian stood on a high balcony, feeling the rumble of the celebration in his chest. His silver tower stood tall and proud, bathed in the glow of 1,000 lights. The dream he had sketched in the sand was finally real. In the midst of the celebration, Adrian met young Rami. The architect reached into his pocket and handed the boy a small, shiny silver model of the tower. "Always remember," Adrian said with a kind smile, "that the tallest things start as the smallest ideas." Rami held the model tight and looked up at the real tower, knowing that one day he would build a dream of his own.